Much anticipated. This is for everyone who retweeted and liked whoever posted that about how I need to do makeup tutorial. Okay, so the first thing I'm doing is I'm putting on a primer. I do my face makeup first before I do my eyeshadow because I feel like you should have foundation as the base, and it actually helps prime your eyeshadows really well. And so I'm using the Makeup Forever Step 1 Mattifying Primer. Another really good one that I use that's a little bit more affordable is the Porefessional by Benefit. So I'm just gonna go at it. I definitely recommend a primer for Recruitment. Next thing I'm gonna do is put on foundation. For Recruitment, because it's usually hot and humid, I would suggest something that's long wearing. The two that I'm gonna mix today are the Estée Lauder Double Wear and the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. Both of them do not have SPF, so what that's gonna do is it's not gonna cast a white shadow in your pictures. So like at night when you go out, usually if like you have a white face and your body's really tan, it's because you're using foundation with SPF. So I'm going to be mixing these two today, but another really good one that I've loved is the L'Oreal True Match, and I am in the color W6. But I'm going to mix these two because I'm weird. I'm also using the Beauty Blender. Whoop. This is a Beauty Blender that is already ran underwater. You're supposed to use it like kind of moist, and it helps evenly distribute your makeup. I really like it. I definitely really recommend the Beauty Blender. I think that what it does, it can make you not look cakey and you won't have streaks when you're applying your foundation, and that's obviously really important. I also really recommend blending along your ears and your jawline so that things are evenly distributed and the color kind of doesn't just stop at your chin or your neck area as well. I definitely think that's incredibly important, and that's what I was doing here in this scene. I don't really need to conceal, but it helps with the coloring. The concealer I'm using is the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer in Custard. Yes, Custard. And I love this, but this is super expensive. It's like $30. So the next best thing that I'm obsessed with is the NYX HD Concealer, and this is in CW4. And this is actually really good. I wear this almost every single day. So definitely apply it in a kind of like a V or a triangle. That's usually where most of your dark circles are. And then what I tend to do is blend over my eye as well. I do get blue veins over my eyes, and that will help you look definitely a lot more awake during Recruitment. So next thing I would suggest is setting your under eye area, and you can use like a normal like face powder, but I use a special one just because I have really dark circles. So I'm using the Marc Jacobs Mirage Filter Palette, and it's like this yellow under eye concealer, and it just helps kind of, what the yellow powder does is it cancels the blue when you kind of have like under eye circles. So it helps with like decreasing like look of veins. So I usually add too much, but oh well. And then for all over the face, a really good powder for your Recruitment is the Rimmel Stay Matte. I'm in Nude Beige 020, and I usually wear that one. I'm using the Nars Loose Setting Powder and Translucent Crystal for the rest of my face. And then obviously it's really important to be wearing a powder during Recruitment because it's hot and it makes your skin really soft, and it like helps blur any imperfections. So if you have like a lot of like acne scars or bumps, it helps quite a bit. So the next thing I'm going to do is bronze up the face because I look pasty. I'm using the bronzer. It's called Sun Bunny by Too Faced. I really like their bronzers, especially if you want like more of like an orangey tan. I'll show another one in a second, but I just usually follow the hollows of your cheeks, so it starts from about like the top of your ear down in a curved motion, and you don't want to take the line too close to your nose or it'll look like you're completely contouring. But I tend to like blend quite a bit. And usually I'll keep it harsh because I blur it out with another bronzer. And then I also tend to bronze under my jawline, and that also helps with a lot of the foundation. If your foundation is like a little mismatched, it can kind of help blend that so it matches more of your body, especially if your face is too light like mine is kind of right now. And I continue to blur because it's very important is to make sure you're blending. You don't ever want to have harsh lines. It's really important. Another really good one if you're more cool toned skin is the same Marc Jacobs one. It's obviously like way more cooler tone. It's like a little bit more ashy. Sometimes I'll take like a little bit and I'll go in like the hollows a little bit more just to kind of add, again, more dimension. That's pretty much all you're doing is just defining lines and blurring lines, and that's about it. And then I'm going to blur all of my bronzer, like my contour, so to speak, with the MAC. This is limited edition, so sorry, no one can really get it. The Magnetic Appeal Extra Dimension Skin Finish. It was really old, but it's just like a lighter, lighter bronzer. And I take this on like a big fluffy brush. Like the bigger brush you have, the less product you're gonna displace like per area. So it's kind of nice, like usually you use like large brushes for like powder because you don't want it to look cakey. That's what I kind of do with my bronzer. If you have something that's like larger, like I have a really big forehead, it's better if you add shadows, and if you have something that's smaller, you technically want to highlight. So I don't have any cheekbones, and that's why I always have to highlight my cheekbones because it brings more light, and like the bronzers bring more shadow, so it kind of helps. And then I'm going back in with my face brush and just kind of blending with the extra product that I had. Next, I will do blush. I'm using like a little mini, it's just Orgasm by Nars. Another really good affordable one is Milani's Baked Blushes. This is in Luminoso and it's super pretty. I use this one when I'm a little bit more lighter, but this will probably be good for most people. It's like a peachy and it's like $5 or something. And I just take that on just an old Sephora. It's definitely important not to add too much blush to your, you don't want to make it burn. And then for highlighter, I'm not expecting people to highlight because it's just kind of crazy. But if you do, I do have the new Becca by Jaclyn Hill. Have you seen that? Champagne Pop.
Yeah.
It's life. So if people ask, what do you use every day? It's gonna probably be this by August. And I just take a fan brush and I only use like one side, and then I blur it out with this one. I think that this one puts on too much product, so this one kind of gives like light, but this one will help blur it. That makes sense. And then obviously I'm putting it on top of my blush, above where I started the contour. And then you can do like your Cupid's bow, and I also learned recently like you can go above like your eyebrow, and that also helps like define like your temple bones. And then I'll go in with this one and I'll just kind of diffuse it a little bit. I think that's everything with the face. So all of the products I use, I'll just name them right now, and I'll tell you the order. So I use the dark brown powder by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and then I use just a Sephora brush. This is 100, it's their brow filler. And then I also use usually one, but sometimes I use two of the Anastasia Brow Wiz pencils in chocolate and dark brown. And then I also have her clear setting powder, or her setting gel, which is amazing. But a really great dupe. This is so gross, but it's if you get the clear, what was this? Great Lash by Maybelline. It's like their mascara, but the clear version is a great like dupe for brow gel. So the best way I do my brows is you have two different colors, or most of them do. And I usually do the darker powder off to the edges, and I'll fill in mainly with the lighter powder closer to the insides of my eye, because I mean it just looks, if it doesn't even look close to like how natural brows would set, and then people are gonna know that they're completely fake. And then I really just focus like the product along like the hairline already, so you can kind of see it like starts here and then it kind of arches and it goes down. Don't try to go above and beyond with your eyebrows. The shape is the shape and you can't really change that. And so I would fill in what you have. rather than try to make it a certain shape, because then you can tell it like starts to look unnatural and not good. If you already have eyebrows, don't fill them in if you don't have to. But like, I mean, you see this gap, like this gap where there's no hair. I can't live my life like that. And then while they look unnatural right now, they won't once I have like my complete full face of makeup on. I know that they look a little scary right now. And then next, I'm priming my eyelids with Kat Von D, her eyeshadow primer. It's just like a yellowy primer. Again, it helps cancel out the blues in my eye. And it's really, really thick and creamy, so it holds a bunch of shadow really well. I've had that tube for about 3 years, and it was about $20. It's probably the best thing I've ever bought, and I finally just had to buy another one, and it's like my holy grail product. And then I take a little bit of extra powder, and I just go over my eyes just to kind of, it's a little too tacky, but that extra powder just kind of helps make putting on eyeshadow so much easier. So then the first MAC eyeshadow I'm using is Texture by MAC. It's like an orangey brown. It's a really pretty transition color. It might be actually a really good crease color in general for a lot of people with lighter skins. And if you're a little bit warmer, it's beautiful. It's very natural. It's not anything that's like too dark or too light. I absolutely love it, and I buy it in the pan. You can't really do that here, but if you go to MAC stores and you buy things in the pan instead of in like their actual like whole pots, you actually save like $5 by doing that for every eyeshadow. And then what I'm doing is taking a bigger eyeshadow brush, and again, just blending, and then you add more, and you blend and you add more, and that's kind of just the gist of it. And so here I'm taking a little bit of a darker color, and I'm going into the crease a little bit more, kind of defining the hollows of my eyelid. And you can kind of see like naturally where it is, and you just go back and forth, and you take a bigger brush and you blend it out, and that's just kind of how I do my eyeshadow. It's just lots and lots of blending. People ask how it looks so photogenic, and that's how it works. You just gotta blend a lot. And then I'm taking this pigment by MAC. It's in tan. And I'm taking it on a thinner brush and just kind of patting it on there. It makes your eyelids look foiled and shiny, and it's a beautiful color. I've also had that for 3 years. It's a huge, it's humongous. It lasts forever, and a little goes a long way. And it just reflects eyeshadow beautifully, but you can also use highlighter or any other like really pretty shimmery eyeshadow. I think that they tend to be really nice for recruitment. You don't really want to use a whole lot of matte colors. It'll make your face look really flat. So I've been using a little, it's more of like a satin finish. And then I'm taking another MAC pigment, and this is in vanilla, and I'm taking this along my eyeshadow bone because I like to highlight that. It's not necessary by any means, but it's just a personal preference. And then I'll also probably take that same color in the inner tear ducts, and that brings a lot of light into your eye. And what that does is it'll make you look awake, especially for recruitment. That's so important. We don't want to look tired. We want to look like we're alive. And that's a great trick, and that's definitely what I'll be using for recruitment. So then, just finishing with the tear ducts, and that's pretty much about it. I only use about 4 colors. It's really easy. It's really not hard. I would just say the key is just to blend until you can't blend anymore. That's how it looks. Not like you're just throwing a bunch of stuff on your face. But I know no one's gonna do that anyway, so I'm not too worried. And then I'm taking a little bit, and normally I wouldn't recommend this for recruitment, and I'm just putting a little bit under my eye just to kind of smoke it out. I was actually going out. I was freaking out. I don't know why I was doing that. But I was going out, so I just wanted to smoke out a little bit more. But I wouldn't really recommend it because it closes off your eye, and it'll make you look a little bit more like cat-like instead of it being more your eyes are awake. I'm using the Tarte Amazonian Clay waterproof eyeliner. It's the best thing of life. It literally will not rub off. And I'm using the brush that came with it, but they don't sell this anymore. Any really small, I love this eyeliner. It's literally the best thing ever. It's so waterproof. I used to test it out at Ulta, and I put it on my hand, and when it dry, I would rub it and it wouldn't come off. It's wonderful for recruitment. If you have really oily eyelids and eyeliner tends to transfer, I would definitely say go and buy this. It's clay, so it'll stay on all day. It's wonderful, and the pot actually lasts an incredibly long time as well. but just focusing mainly the product on the outer corner, as you can see, instead of the inner corner. I usually work from the outside in instead of the inside out, and you just make it gradually smaller all the way in, and that's how you make it look natural. And then here I was taking another eyeliner and just kind of perfecting the wing, and kind of, it also has a smaller tip, so it was really good for the insides of my eye instead of it being too dramatic. But I definitely would say just focus most of your eyeliner on the outer corners and you'll be good to go. It'll be the same kind of look. You know, we want our eyelashes to look thicker at the ends, not the beginning, like closest to your tear duct. And then here I was just curling my lashes, and then should I put on mascara? Potatoes. Corrupt. I love that name. Like I corrupt people. I love this name. Yeah. And then, okay, so this is a white mascara, and what that does, I love it. It's by Tarte. It helps build your eyelashes incredibly. Like, you put it on overnight, and it, like, makes your eyelashes look amazing. And then I topped it with the Dior mascara that I'm obsessed with. And those are both very expensive products, and I understand that. The Dior mascara by itself is wonderful. The Tarte, you know, white mascara is great by itself. But either way, I mean, that's just what I do, and it is very expensive, but it makes my eyelashes literally look fake. People used to ask me at Ulta, like, what do you do? I couldn't tell them because we don't sell Dior, but the white eyeliner, or the white mascara, it does wonders. And then this is me just wrapping my hair, so you can do this around any kind of curling iron that has a clamp, but you literally just wrap it around in a circle. It's really not hard. And I did that to my whole entire head, and then I was pretty much done with my look.
1 inch, I think.
I think it's 3/4.
3/4 inch, and the other one's like a 1.5. So if you have long hair, you could do 1.5. And then it's a curl.
Woo!